Yes, we have survived Irene.
Who's that? Bill collector?
Huh?
Oh, that fake ass tornado.
Yeah, shit had everybody freaked the fuck out. What's happening, everybody? Last day in August. Woo! We got a month, September. Tomorrow will be September, man. We got a lot of fucking big shit going on in September. But before we get to anything else,
real quick, for you folks who figured out that I have an Xbox, that's great. If you want my gamer tag, just email me. Just because have gamer tags doesn't mean we're actually play each other. Then you can just see what I'm playing, because more than likely I'll be on Black Ops playing at the house versus other people in the house. But I did pick up Madden 12, so just saying.
And then why don't one of you guys just get George's gamer tag? Why are you up in my shit?
Because I got to try to figure out how to say my man's name.
Oh.
This Polish dude sent me an email. And
this Polish dude. I'm sure he really likes you a lot.
He said, dude, he's the one. All right, he sends me an email saying, I'd like to see you try to pronounce my name. I think it would be funny. So this Polish dude, Jakob Kaminski, so I'm assuming. I'm sure he's from New York and he's a cop.
I'm going to go with Jakub Kaminski. That's a shout out.
Yeah.
We're also going to give a shout out to our boy Richard Greenbaum, who loves to just tell me the day after the show what the fuck George fucked up on, which is usually a long list.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you know. But
why does he tell me? He can get at me on Facebook.
Yeah, man. Just Rich.
Come on, Greenbaum.
Rich, just hit him up on Facebook. Now, for all you guys, yeah, uncutgear.com. Go check it out. Go tell us what you think about some of our designs. We have
logo shirts.
Yeah, the logo shirts are going to be put on hold right now because we need to make the logo bigger. So I've hidden those shirts, but we have fight designs, extreme designs, all kinds of designs. Go check them out. And we're actually having our artists continue to have more designs. We're actually going to have a shirt that's going to be the George shirt. I think you guys will love this fucking shirt. It's actually going to be a pretty cool design. So you get a chance, go to uncutgear.com and check it out. Now, let's move on to the world of the NFL, where your boy, Michael Vick, just landed a huge fucking contract in Philadelphia. 6 years, $100 million.
And like I told Kevin when I first saw it, Vick will be there and he'll be out of there in 4 years.
$1 million.
He'll be out of Philadelphia in 4 years or less.
Well, I'm glad you're saying this. I'm going to ask you some questions, and the thing I love about you, George, is you're very straight up. And as I ask George these questions, you guys can chime in the comment board below and basically say what you fucking think about it. Now, the first question I'm going to ask you is, do you think, because now Michael Vick is the only people that are paid more in the NFL than Michael Vick. This is the second time he's landed a $100 million contract. Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, the only two players that are sitting above him. Do you think and feel Michael Vick is worth $100 million?
Well, okay, because Kevin hates when I don't answer his question. No, I don't think any player in the NFL is worth $100 million. I don't think there's an athlete on this fucking planet that's worth $100 million. With that said, we see that giant $100 million number, and we all know he's not going to see every penny of that. $40 million of it's guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Good for you. You deserve it. You've had a great last season, and I am definitely the person as what have you done for me lately?
Right.
And that's what he's done. But we also understand the line looks like complete dog shit. Mm-hmm. You're utterly fragile, and I have a feeling Vince Young will be the starting quarterback by week 8 because they're not blocking for you, and and he's small. He's a little guy.
Right. That brings me. I'm going to roll right into the second question because you kind of morphed into that, and that's just, do you think Vick will start 12 or more games this season?
No, I'd put the number at 9.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I don't think Vick is going to start 12 or more games this season, and I wish he would because that motherfucker's my fantasy quarterback. but I don't think it's going to happen, and I think that's what raises a lot of people's eyebrow, like $100 million for a guy. I'm going to tell you what, and I'll Skip Bayless. See your reaction? That's what most people think when you think Skip Bayless, because he talks out of the side of his fucking neck.
He's just like the other guy, Colin Cowherd.
Yeah,
they go strictly off emotion. A lot of their stuff has no base, not a lot, but some of their stuff has no base behind it. It's just they get emotional and get into it, kind of like what we do.
Yeah, like us. So, I mean, we can't shoot, but I don't listen to a lot of shit that Bayless said. But the other day he had a point. He had a really good point. He talked about Mike Vick's season last year. He's like, yeah, everybody's like he was a candidate for the MVP, and the other guys were arguing, yeah, he was a candidate for the MVP, but he was like, yeah, but that was based on, at the end of the season, his overall work looked pretty good. The beginning of the season was where he was phenomenal. The last 6 or 7 games of the season, he really struggled.
Yeah, he was talking about how many interceptions he threw, and his
And his
interception
touchdown
touchdown ratio is terrible.
It was terrible, and it's rolled into the preseason so far this game with the deterioration of the line.
I tell you what, I'm thrilled to see Vince Young there because he's my backup.
I agree with you. 100%.
And I'm gonna tell you what, as much as y'all don't like Vince Young, he's a winner.
He is a winner.
You can't look at his record.
Yeah.
Just look at his record.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think he's in a new place. He's got a good support system.
He
I
might
think
be the next Mike Vick.
He could be the next Mike Vick. Okay, now, next question, which you said earlier. How long, George, do you guys, George, of course, how long do you think Mike Vick will be in Philly?
4 years or less.
4 years or less?
Yep.
So that's your over under 4.
No, yeah.
What do you think's going to happen?
He'll get cut. Because that's what the Eagles do. They'll trade him or cut him in 4 years.
Yeah,
and I'm
they're
not,
like
I
the
mean,
Steelers. Mhm.
Exactly. I've gotten to the point now where when the Eagles do something in the front office, whether they acquire a player or let a player go, I'm just like, all right, cool. Corey Simon, I was like, I think the last real fuck up the Eagles had was Mike Mamula, and they drafted him because he had these crazy ass combine numbers, and he didn't amount to a hill of beans.
Right.
Corey Simon, they got rid of. He had one season with the Colts and then ate his way out of the league. Bernard Bunkley's gone, and now he's hurt.
Right.
They let go. They had 2 cornerbacks I'd never heard of. They both make it to the Pro Bowl, and now they're gone. You know what? We're fine now.
Right.
I think their front office and whoever looks at their personnel, whether it's a combination of Andy Reid and their scouting, is just phenomenal.
Right.
Because they pick players, look, we're gonna pay you this money, and then you're gone. The person right now who's fucking stomping their feet and pissing and moaning is Deshaun Jackson.
Right.
Your biggest problem is Drew Rosenhaus, and the Eagles do not get along with Drew Rosenhaus.
Right.
Ask Terrell Owens.
Right, yeah.
So I think Deshaun Jackson will get paid, but then again, you're also dealing with another undersized player who's one hit away from not playing, and he returns punts and kicks, which is to me the most violent part of the game.
He does return, and I was actually talking with Joe Cristiano, who is a very knowledgeable friend of mine, and we were talking about Deshaun Jackson, and it's like, there's a lot of receivers, like you notice when you draft in fantasy league, he was down the list, because he's a big, like in our league it's great, because he's a big play guy, but he's not a Brandon Lloyd. He was, you know what I'm saying? And one of
He's
the
not
reasons,
going to have 100 receptions.
No, and then one of the reasons it's not, he's little like Vick. He can get down the field fast, and Vick can maybe see him open and hit him with the big play, but Vick comes out of the pocket, everybody's fucking patterns are fucked up once you roll out of the pocket, and he's not that kind of receiver. He's a little guy. So yeah, anyway, well, it's all remain to be seen. But this is the last question I want to ask you about the whole Mike Vick situation, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it. Do you think that Mike Vick, the way he's acting and everything, is he genuine? Is he sincere? Do you think he truly has regret, or do you think he's genuine, or do you feel, what do you feel about that? And I want everybody out there to know.
I can't judge it. I guess what I'm trying to say is when you're brought up one way and you're raised to do things one way. But for instance, Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. was brought up in a household where he saw cockfighting, and I don't mean 2 guys battling out with their penises. I'm talking
Roy
about
Jones Jr., the boxer.
Yeah, they would bring out cocks, male roosters, and they would fight. They would have metal talons put on, and you know what? In his part where he came from, that was normal.
Right.
Mike Vick was brought up in fucking Southern Virginia, fucking very low educated, poverty line. A lot of people are living at it. And fighting dogs was normal. I'm not condoning it. It's not humane. I don't think it's cool. It's a terrible thing to do to anyone.
Right.
But it's something you were raised around, and you just think, hey, that's normal.
It's acceptable.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, that's kind of what happens, and you keep moving. Yeah. Right or wrong, that's just you. I don't want to say brainwashed, but you're desensitized. And
there's some Peter lover fucking saying you guys are assholes, but that is the truth of the matter. It is. We're in the South, and I mean it's fucked up. But I knew people that did that shit. I mean, I didn't do it, and I didn't agree with it, but that doesn't mean I didn't know motherfuckers that were doing it.
I'm assuming then PETA has a problem with MMA, and the reason I say that is because a lot of people go, that's human cockfighting.
Right.
But here people have a choice, where animals, I understand, animals don't have a choice. They love you, they do what they're told, they're trained. And so whether he's genuine or not, I'm not the one to judge that. Right. I honestly, he has to live with himself. I don't care. As long as he shows up on Sunday and plays football, I try to judge what people do on the field, on the court, I loved Dennis Rodman.
Right.
Is he a fucking sideshow? Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he wanted to dress up in a dress and fuck men in the ass or get fucked in. I don't know what he did. I don't care. Because on the basketball court, who's going to out-rebound him?
Right.
No one.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I care. So I don't know.
Joe and I were having a conversation last night. We were talking about it. He was saying that there was an event that Mike Vick was at with the school. He was speaking at a school, and one kid, before he got into the podium, yelled out and said, "Are you mad what they did to you, Mike Vick?" and he looked at the kid, and he said, "I can't answer that." Now, that's by him saying I can't answer that. A man, that's telling you that, I'm pissed off that I have to serve jail time for, in his mind, this weak ass charge. That's what he's thinking. That's probably what that man is thinking, and it's just exactly what you said. Now, he hasn't done anything wrong, but that tells you I'm going to do what I have to get this $100 million contract, to get right to where he is right now. Because most people, if you really regret something, you would have looked at that kid and said,
I'm mad at what I did to myself.
Yeah, I fucked it up. I made some bad decisions or whatever. And you probably would have said that anyway, just to help that fucking kid along. You know what I'm saying? So that, his response right there, I think, told it all,
Now, don't want to get away from football, but I'm throwing a curveball and letting Kevin know. What about Chris Johnson? Chris Johnson has gone on record and said, I want playmaker money. Now, what that means is I want quarterback money. And right now, the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks, Vick included, and I'm just based off pay, calm down, are making between 17 and 18 million a season.
Yeah.
So they're saying Breeze is the next one. And Adam Schefter broke it down. 5 years, 17.5 million, done. We could get it done in 4 minutes. So with that said, my question is, how much is
Chris Johnson looking for?
No. How much is he to you? Is he worth quarterback money?
Absolutely not. I mean, it's Chris Johnson to me is like, he's a playmaker, yeah, but let me tell you something. Running backs are nothing without their lines. You know what I'm saying? Running backs are not the the brains of your offense. You know what I'm saying? Running backs are not making adjustments. Running backs have a life in the NFL that are very short, which might be one of the reasons that he's saying, okay, I want big money, because he knows that he won't be playing as long as a quarterback. You don't see running backs running around carrying the ball and being successful at it.
Last
36,
one?
37.
Who was the last one? Who's the last running back who had a long career and carried a big load?
Emmitt Smith.
Yes.
Yeah, Emmitt Smith is probably the last one we saw.
And he'll probably be the last one we'll see.
And he probably should have done it 2 years later. He shouldn't have broke Peyton's record. That's just my personal opinion.
No, it should have been Barry Sanders.
Yeah,
But
but
anyway.
I just don't see them. If I was Tennessee's front office, I would be doing exactly what they're doing.
I'd trade him.
Yep.
I wouldn't
I'd be
even
like,
play
fuck
with him.
him. Yeah.
I would trade him to the NFC because you know what? You're going to get... Dude, trade him for a first-round pick next year, a first-round pick. Dude, trade him for someone's draft.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. When you really look at running backs and the way they perform and stuff, you look at when Minnesota's line was kind of deteriorated a year ago. Peterson was suffering. Now their line is healthy again. You see him the other night. He is running over motherfuckers.
Dude, do you know what Donovan McNabb... And I was the one who said Donovan McNabb should have gone to Minnesota 2 years ago.
You see him throwing the ball? I mean, that's because Donovan McNabb now has line.
So now let me ask you a question. Was it Donovan McNabb or Mike Shanahan?
I think it was a combination of both. I think that Mike Shanahan was running an offense that Donovan McNabb was not going to pick up quick. Now Donovan McNabb is a place where he's used to the offense, so he's going to be much more successful there. I think what Shanahan does bring to the table, since we're talking about lines, he has always had great offensive lines. Within 1 year, he has changed that line in DC.
And he goes for a smaller, more athletic line, because if you guys remember out in Denver, his linemen weren't big. But they were also considered the dirtiest players. That group, because they'll get in and they'll cut your knees out and chop you.
But look at all the running backs he had that had success. It was like 5 or 6 guys.
Right.
He even had the old guy that was in the service that was run. I forgot his name.
Terrell Davis.
Well, no, Terrell Davis broke records, and then you had
Gary or somebody like that.
Gary, and then you had Clinton Portis, and then you had the other guy, Mike Anderson.
Mike Bell and Mike Anderson.
And Mike Bell. All of them were successful on their line.
And then they disappeared.
It's your line.
So
it's the big guys up front.
The NFL is upon us. It starts what, next week?
Next week? Yes, college football this week. Now,